Okay. Oh, I froze. My Zoom froze. Give it a sec. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. I'm just going to wait to see who is on. Say hello if you're here. Good morning, Kara. There's like 3 people I can always count on to be one of the first to say hello. Kara, you're one of them. And I love it. I love it so much. Anyone else on? You guys want to say hello? Hey, Victoria. You're another one. Awesome. So excited here. We're going to get going. I just want to give people time. Say hello. Let us know where you're located. If you are watching the replay, comment replay so we know that you watched it. All of that. We are going to be covering a little bit of analyzing deals today. Hey, Jamie. And then we are going to move into an Ask Us Anything and the raffle. So I'm just going to see people coming in. Hey, Anita. And so we got a lot of exciting things going on in the REIW world the next couple of months. And so Laura and I were just talking about that before we got on, just everything that we wanted to cover and fun things happening and all that. So we're going to go ahead and get going though, just because of time and all of that, to make sure that we have plenty of time to talk to you ladies. And so today's thing is analyzing deals. So Laura, I'm going to let you kind of take over. Hey, Wendy.
Okay, so welcome and thank you for being here today. And we are going to talk something. I know a lot of you should have downloaded the PDF right now, and it was posted at the beginning of the week. So if you have not, make sure you do it, because everything that I'm going to cover right now will be in the PDF. And also for future reference, remember that at the beginning of the week, we share with you a PDF or something, that a chart, something that you need to have in order to get the most out of the lives that we do on Thursday. Okay, so a little bit of a tip there and trick. Okay, so now the other thing I want to share with you, the way that I'm going to show you right now as far as analyzing deals is the way I do it. Okay, it might be not the mainstream way of a lot of our coaches or people saying it. And I'm not saying that it's wrong the way they do it. If it works for them, great. This is how I've done it for myself in the business for over 3 decades. So, if somebody tells me that it's wrong, that will give me an identity crisis, because it's like, okay, so what have I done for the last 3 or 4 decades? Because I've always done it this way, and I've done literally thousands of deals. So again, this is how I do it. Okay, so if you question it, if you wonder why she's doing it that way, it's like I said, just know that I've been doing it for a long time and it works. Okay, so there are 3 main strategies in real estate investing: wholesaling, buy and hold, rentals, and fix and flips, right? We all agree, and you all know these strategies somewhat. So let's cover about wholesaling. So wholesaling, as a wholesaler, you buy low and you sell low. Okay, you buy low and sell low. So with that said, you buy and you want to make at least a certain amount of profit. I wouldn't put a limit on the profit you're making in wholesaling. There are cases I've done profits under K or more on one deal. Okay, but most of your profits will probably be in the range of around 10K. Okay, a little less, a little more. Like I said, this is an average. You're gonna get deals so you make a lot more than that. But any deal I come across, if there is a potential there to wholesale it, I'm looking to make as close to 10K or more as possible. And how do you get to carve enough meat on the bone, as they say, for you to make the 10K? Well, I personally don't use any rule of 70. I don't like those, because those are very misleading. If you think about 70% of $500,000 property, $500,000 property, is a much different thing than 70% of 100,000, right? 70% of 100,000, there is only a $30,000 difference. 70% of 150 is $150,000 difference. So you see the discrepancy there. So what I do is I look at the actual values of properties that I've sold in the area. What is sold recently over the last 60, no more than 90 days in that area, period. Okay. So I look at the values and I look at the properties. So let's say that you find that the average in the area sold between 100 and 120, and you know you buy low and sell low, so you probably have to sell it at 100K or below, and assuming that doesn't need any repair. We're not going to get into all that. That has to be also taken out if it does. But let's say you're going to sell it for 100K or below, you should start offering maybe 80 to 85,000. Maybe you can go 90 to 95, and you still make your $5, $10, $15,000 profit, right? So if in the back of my mind, the most I'll pay for this property is 90K, because I'm going to sell it for 95, 95, maybe 99, but I know in that range, I'm going to offer 80, 85. So you see that technically I offer maybe 85% of the, ARV. So, so that's what I do for wholesaling. Now for buy and hold, this gets a little trickier here. So like I said, I hope you guys got your wholesaling. Your PDF. But with buy and hold, what I do is, first of all, do the rent support the price and then improvements? That's the concept behind it. Because if somebody asks something for a property, but the rents don't support that, gone are the days where you would buy only for appreciation. We knew what that did in 2007, right? People who were buying for quote unquote appreciation, overnight appreciation was gone. Overnight, they had this property, they were upside down, couldn't sell them, couldn't do anything with them. So don't buy for appreciation. My philosophy is buy for cash flow. Cash flow today. When I started buying rental properties in 91, I wanted cash flow. That was the thing. I wanted cash flow. So with that said, if you have a single family, I'm looking to make at least, after all expenses, $250 per door. Honestly, about $300 to $400 on a single family. A duplex, $500, 2 doors. A 4-family, $400, 4 doors. I'm sorry, $1,000, 4 doors. So that's what kind of rule of thumb, $250 per door. Okay. And I want to explain to you a little more. And like I said, if you have the PDF, this will make a little more sense and you can fill in the blanks. So let's say on the example we have in the PDF, the rental income per month is $2,000. Okay. So you have this property, the $2,000. Now, property taxes, you take the yearly taxes on the property divided by 12. They'll give you the monthly. The insurance, usually you can ask the owner what his average insurance is on the property. And then if you have utilities like, water, sewer, that type of stuff, you take it off there per month. I do this for monthly rate. HOA, homeowner association, if you have that for your area. General maintenance, I think about $50 per door, so $100 if it's a 2-family. Vacancy buffer, I like to take 10%, meaning if it's $2,000, I take $200 vacancy buffer. Assume that once a year, one of the units is going to be probably vacant for 1 or 2 months. And then your cash flow, right? Your cash flow. So you take off your cash flow. So in this case, it would be $250 per door, which is $500. Okay. And that will give you a net. So let's say that, you deduct all of these and your net is $800. So now with $800, you go into like a mortgage calculator, plug into a mortgage calculator. You can Google it online, mortgage calculator, literally. You plug into mortgage calculator, and depending on mortgage calculator you use, if you have an HP calculator, HPE financial calculator, they actually have a formula function there where you can put what your payment would be, your interest rate for 30 years. So let's say you put $800, 7% interest for 30 years, it will tell you what loan amount will support. But for the sake of things, let's say $800 will support $140,000 loan amount. Okay, so 140,000, then that will be your loan amount. Now, when you buy rental properties, you probably have to put down 20%. So, we're looking at the value of this property being around 170,000, right? 20%. Loan amount 140, 70%. So with that said, then this, whatever the $2,000 income every month supports a loan amount of 140 after all expenses and your profit, and supports an acquisition price of 170,000. Okay. And now, once you start sitting down thinking about it, it will make sense more. And like I said, we did have the PDF list. It's up to you if you do want to share a little bit the PDF that we're mentioning so they know. But like I said, you can get it at the beginning of the week when you guys post
It's
it.
honestly like 2 or 3 posts down in the group. Just look for the one that has the PDF from Tuesday. It'll probably be easier for you to find it and come. Actually, it's the very next one. I'm in the group right now. It has me talking on a cell phone. Oh no, that's for today. Hold on. Let's go down a little bit. But yeah, you can find it. It's right there, right under the one where I'm talking about the workshop that we did last night. As of right now, it might change as people comment.
Okay, great. So now let's talk about fix and flip. Okay, fix and flip now it works differently. So here, let's say you have a final sale price of 200,000. This is after the property has been fixed up. We want to calculate what is our maximum allowable offer, right? So first of all, how do you get to the final sale price of 200,000? Well, you run comps. You look at what our properties have sold in the area that are comparable to yours as far as square footage, age of the property, and condition after fixed up. So now you're going to deduct from that the rehab cost, right? So if you think it's going to take, let's say, $30,000 in rehab cost, you deduct that. You deduct holding cost being utilities, insurance, that type of thing, maybe a couple $1,000. Financing cost. This is if you use private money or hard money to buy this property, you have to come up with financing costs, right? Then the other thing is selling cost when you sell the property, title fees, that type of things. Acquisition closing cost. This is when you buy the property, right? Like title insurance and other closing costs. Now, one tip I want to give here also, we discussed this with the students yesterday, that a good idea, because closing costs is there a percentage or a rule as far as closing costs? The best thing to do is get the title company that you're going to work with to give you what they call a pro forma closing statement, which is a sample closing statement showing what the closing cost would be on a property. So for example, let's say that you can wait until you have your first deal, or you can go back and say, hey, if I had a $200,000 property, can you prepare a pro forma statement? And when you go through the closing cost, ask the title company which ones are variables and which one are not. Okay, variable means that they can change depending on the price of the property. The non-variable ones are like recording fees or things that are really going to be kind of a set amount. So you have closing cost for selling, actual closing, acquisition closing cost. If you're going to sell the property on the MLS and you're not a realtor, then you have to pay a 6% commission to somebody, right? So that's part of your cost. And then your profit. Your profit, person is a rehabber, I'm looking always to make at least 10% of the final sale price or more. Right now, because of things changing in the economy and the world, I'm looking to make closer to 15% to give me a little extra buffer in case prices adjust that much over the next 6 months or so. And then you come to a maximum acquisition price. So let's say that for 200,000, we have rehab cost, holding cost, financing, sales closing cost, acquisition, commission of 6%, right? 6% to 100,000 is 12,000. Profit to $20,000 for you. So you take down all that and you might come up with a maximum acquisition price, let's say of 130,000. Okay, so that's the maximum you pay for that property to make sense. Now, when you start offering, you probably go to offer 120, and most you pay 130. Now, keep in mind the sum of these costs can be variable. So let's say that the seller, you will not go below 145. You can 130, 145. Are you going to kill the deal? No, not necessarily. See if there's some things you can cut down. To me, what's non-negotiable is my profit. There is no way I will make less than 10% because honestly, if that's the case, I just go ahead and wholesale it, right? That's the way I look at it. But, maybe commissions, maybe you can shave some of the commission. Maybe you're an agent and you have to pay only 3% to the other agent. Maybe financing cost, you can negotiate, or maybe you can use a different type of financing with financing costs are less. Maybe the rehab, you can do it for 25 instead of 30,000. So there are some variable costs in there to make up for the acquisition price if you and the seller are not. Now, if you have a huge discrepancy between what the seller wants and what you want to offer, obviously that's nothing you can do on that. Okay, but this is a high overview on how to analyze deals. And I know through a lot of numbers that you hear in just a few minutes, but maybe listen to this recording.
Yes, the replay will be in the group. Do not stress over it. Also, I put a link to the PDF post right there in the comments. So if you don't have the PDF that really breaks this down, then that is right there for you guys as well. So we are going to open up for Q&A, but first I want to announce our raffle winner, and I'm going to share my screen. Oh, hold on. Let me get it pulled up. There we go. I'm going to share my screen. How cute is this box?
On that.
Right, every box we give away, I'm like, do we have to?
No, Liz, we need to triple that every box because one goes to them, one goes to me, one goes to you.
I don't have a bathtub though. I have both showers, suckingly or standing showers.
What is with this people idea that we don't need bathtubs in Florida? I don't know.
I don't know. But with that being said, this is the adorable box that we are raffling off today. And how do you get entered into our raffles? Good question. We get asked that all the time. I don't even know. It's probably, yep. I literally get asked this all the time. Okay, well, how do I win these? Because we used to raffle gift cards and stuff, but they weren't fun. And we're like, we want to make this fun. And what I noticed is since we did the boxes, people are like, oh, I'm winning. Like they show up for everything. So there's a few ways there's one way to get entered in. It is. It's like Christmas. I mean, I know I love when my subscription boxes come. So with that being said, how you get entered into this is comment on every post from Thursdays to Thursdays, pretty much every day. We post many times throughout the day, promotions, but also content and fun. And the more you comment, the better your chances are. We literally have an assistant that goes through Thursday morning and combs through the entire group of all the comments and will tally up. And then for every comment, it's an entry, and they will enter it in, spin this wheel, and whoever's name is called is it. So you can comment once, or you can comment 100 times or 200 times. I mean, I think one of our classes we did last week, our most commented within 5 days or something was like 262 comments or something like that. I was very impressed, followed by other people. But you know what? It pays off, right? Because you may be the winner. So with that being said, the raffle winner for today is, who's excited? I'm going to I know there's a 10-second delay on Facebook. Who's excited? You have 1 week to claim this prize, and you have to do that by emailing in. I'm going to put the thing while I'm waiting here. I'm going to put the email that you email in, and we will need your address so we can get this sent to you. So who's excited? There we go. I see two people out of 21 are excited.
Hopefully they're ones that win.
I saw her commenting earlier, but I don't know. Okay. Well, the winner is Laura Smith. Congratulations.
Laura?
Yeah. So congratulations. You won this week's box. Now stay tuned because next week's box is so freaking cute. I literally am considering ordering it for myself too. So I am super, super excited. So congratulations, Laura Smith. Love that you won. And so now we're going to move into a Q&A. Now, how this works is we take one question per person during this session, okay? So keep it to one question. I have a dotted line here. So if after you that dotted line, go ahead and post your question. Now I'm going to go ahead and take Marianne because it's right there. So let's see. Marianne's question is there a good source to tell appreciation for a property over a time period?
For a
So
specific.
she says, I'm looking at a property that an owner bought for 91K in 2001, now asking for 15. The Zillow estimate is 275 to 300K. I'm going to tell you right now, Zillow, the estimate is always wrong. You need to run comps on that area to know how much it is. You don't want to go off his estimate. But go ahead, Laura.
No, what was the question specifically?
Is there somewhere, let me scroll back up real quick. Is there a good source to tell appreciation for a property over a time period?
Looking into the future or from the past?
Over the past, because what I'm assuming is she says this person bought for 91K in 2001 and now is asking for 15.
I
would almost do it a backwards way.
Right, and not really. I mean, I know, like, if you go to the National Association of Realtor website, you can look at the trend over the last 20 years, you know, where property values were 20 years ago for a specific area and where they are now. But that's for the whole area, not just for one property. As far as, you know, if a person bought it in 91, I assume that was probably the price the property was worth back then, right? And I saw a cool chart once that showed what a property was worth in 1920 and what it was worth in 2020. And this property was worth $2,500 in 1920, and now it's worth over 600,000. You know,
Wow.
because, you know, inflation, appreciation, and all of that. But yeah, I don't know for a specific property. I always assume what they bought it for. That's probably what they were.
Well, let's work backwards on this, right? So you can see on Zillow what they paid for. It gives you price history. So review that and what they're asking. But I don't go off a Zestimate. What I would do is just run comps of what has sold recently in that area. And then that will be your ARV, and you will see how much things have appreciated in that time. That would be my best thing, is to kind of run numbers on similar homes in the area. Look at the Zillow of what was bought and then what it was sold for later. That would be my best guess. It would take a little bit of work. But if you want to know appreciation, that's your easier way. I wouldn't worry too much about how much it's appreciated. I would run numbers and see what you can offer on that property. Because it's not going to matter what appreciated, because they're going to get what they're asking for in most cases right now, or close to it, unless you negotiate them down. Okay. All right. Next question is Alyssa. For the BRRRR strategy or fix and flippers, is it a bad strategy to purchase from wholesalers if we don't want to wholesale ourselves?
No, you can do that. Just to understand that, you know, that you have to have enough what I call meat on the bone to make sense, right? No, you can buy from other wholesalers. The numbers still have to work. So whatever you're going to pay the wholesaler, and then you go through the formula we showed you earlier, you know, the maximum allowable offer, that's the maximum you'll pay the wholesaler, basically. Yeah.
And what we always state, because people think we only cater to wholesaling, okay? If you don't want to pay wholesale fees, MLS commissions to the agents and that stuff, you do have to do what a wholesaler does to get deals under contract, okay? So anything that we teach acquisition-wise, unfortunately, it requires work if you're not wanting to pay someone else to do that work. So you may have to pay a wholesale fee. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have a lot of students that do that. So you can do that. It's just you will have to pay a fee for that, for someone else to do that work. Okay, great. Good questions today, guys. Vonda's asking, what is the profit you're looking for a single family home? More than 250? and break even in 5 years or less.
The profit is for a fix and flip?
She's done, remember, Vonda, our student, she's doing rentals.
Oh, profit on a $250,000 home?
No. What is the profit you're looking for a single family home? Is it more than 250? I'm assuming she
Yeah,
means
oh,
per
yes,
door.
I'm sorry. Yes, I was thinking 250,000. Yes, it is. 250 is the minimum I will look at, but honestly, and I keep it 250 just because it's variable. On single family home, depending on the area, you can go to 250. Let's say, for example, certain areas, you want to some cash flow, but the appreciation is insane. So you say, okay, I'll take 250 on this property because the appreciation has been great. So I can go ahead and take 250 for a year or two, and then at the end of the day, I'm going to sell it and make a lot more. So that's why I will go as low as 250. But if you're looking for a long-term rental and you plan on keeping it for 5 to 10 years, and the appreciation is okay, somewhat, or even it's a negative appreciation in some areas, then I'll bump up my cash flow per door, if that makes sense. So let's say, for example, properties that are in St. Louis, Missouri, St. Louis City, or Cleveland, Ohio, or Indianapolis, the city. Those are areas where the appreciation is very flat-lined. I'm talking the city now, not the county, okay? Is very flat-lined, and then it has little bumps, right? Flat-lined little bumps, flat-lined down, and then it takes forever to come up here. So those are the one where I want more per door. I will look at least a single family, honestly, $400 or more. On a duplex, probably at least 300. Remember, it's 250 plus, right, that I put in the formula. So at least 300 per door. So now if you have areas where the appreciation seems to be having steady, like let's say Tampa, for example, or areas in Orlando or like that, then I don't care if I get 250 per door, because the appreciation has had a good history going up, and I don't foresee it's going to have big dives down. There are going to be little adjustments, but it's up, so that one I will take less per door. So the more I feel like the appreciation is going to be a struggle, the more I want per door, if that makes sense.
Really good questions today. We have one more that came through from Juliana, which, by the way, are we seeing you this weekend? What is the oldest comps you use? 1 month, 3 months, since market is changing so fast lately?
I like 60 days right now. Under normal condition, it's about 90 days. 6 months is only when we're really kind of static, but right now it's about 60 days.
Perfect. Yeah, I would say the same. I'm running comps. Actually, today I was running comps right before here on a property, and I just went back 60 days if there was enough properties in the area, because things have just changed so drastically. So we were just confirming that, which, Laura, I got to talk to you about that after this. Okay. Okay, so that's the last question I see coming through. So we kind of want to talk a little bit about if any other questions come through, and remember, we allow one per person. While we kind of close out here, we will answer them. Just remember, there's like a 10-second delay. Okay. So if we don't see it and we get off, it's just because we didn't see it. We have Orlando this weekend. So Laura, while I pull up the link, do you want to talk about Orlando and Atlanta?
Yes. We have Orlando, and Atlanta will be coming up on December 10th. We're probably going to start promoting it next week, I believe, right?
We're set to launch on Monday. So those Atlantas, I saw you commenting. There's a post pinned to the top of the group. Go comment there so you can get access to that landing page once it's ready to go.
Yeah, we have not been in Atlanta in years.
Forever. Mm-hmm.
I went there last year for the Christmas market, and you guys have a great Christmas market in Atlanta. Check it out. Okay, Google Christmas market downtown Atlanta. I bought a bunch of stuff from Russia, Germany. Anyway, so I got sidetracked on a Christmas market, but which, by the way, we will go when we go to Atlanta on December 10th. Okay, so everybody check it out. Next week we're gonna do that. So it's a great event. It's the same we did basically in New York City last week. We had a really great 50 plus women in the room. And you saw the pictures. I'm sure Liz, you posted the picture from New York
It
City.
was so fun. We had
Yeah.
such a good time.
Yeah. So we're gonna duplicate that in Atlanta. So you guys are gonna come along. We're gonna have food. So it's a lot of fun. We have raffles. So it's a lot of things that we're gonna do.
It's at Kelly's asking. Kelly, I'm so excited to see you again. It's at the Gathering Spot, Atlanta. It's not at a hotel.
Yeah, it's downtown Atlanta. So that's on December 10th. This Saturday, and this is the last time we're gonna have this until spring, guys. Okay, because we are gonna be in our cities. So this Saturday we're gonna be in Orlando. Like I said, this is the last time until spring because we're going to Atlanta, we're going to Dallas, we have the retreat coming up. So we have a lot of other things happening. So we won't circle back in Orlando until the spring. So please, if you're planning, we're going to wait for the next one, don't.
I think we only have like 2 spots left too, ladies.
Yeah, because with Orlando, what happens with the events that we do now, the end of the year, like Atlanta and Orlando, I'm actually going to frame for you guys at the event what's going to happen next year in real estate. So I'll bring you some really good intel data about what is going on. And if anybody have been around me for the last few years, I kind of have a crystal. I need to get a crystal ball.
Well, we actually had a student, or not a student, a lady in the group the other day say, I wish I would have just listened to Laura during COVID when she said to stay in real estate. It actually scared her out. And Laura was like, no, don't follow what everyone's saying. Stay in real estate. And she's like, I wish I would have listened because I would have got properties and it boomed. The other thing is Laura's been through 3 recessions. If you're going to follow any mentor, make sure that they have been through a couple recessions to understand how to navigate this. All right, back to your crystal ball. I'm going to buy you one.
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, yeah, go ahead and put it on my Christmas list.
I already got your Christmas gift. It was expensive.
Yeah, one that looks nice on my desk. The look of my office here, and stuff. So something bronze, and things like that. But anyway, so with that said, during these meetings, I actually go into what's going on for the next year and what you can do as a real estate investors to really, take advantage, quote unquote, of the wrinkles in the cycle. Okay, so that's going to be good stuff. So we had people traveling from New York as far as Ohio.
We had Ohio, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware,
Massachusetts, Boston. Yeah,
we had someone take red-eye buses drive 8 hours.
So I'm really proud of you women in New York. You did amazing to come see us. So I'm expecting the same for Orlando and Atlanta. Okay, so come in, it's worth it, guys. I promise you. And we're gonna cover a lot of. Plus, you're gonna be interactive. You're gonna be in a room of like-minded women. And like I said, there are longer events at about 3 or 4 hours. And so it's not like just come in the door and leave. We're gonna give you a lot, and you'll have a takeaway manual too. A manual where you can write notes and stuff like that. I actually have a copy of the manual here from New York, and this is the type of manuals they're gonna give. So there's a bunch of things in here where you can write notes and everything else about what we're gonna go over in the class. So it's really good stuff. So I hope to see you the last. Those are gonna be the 2 last events of the year, by the way. Orlando and Atlanta is the last 2 where we're gonna be, and then next year I don't think we're doing anything until February because we have
because of the retreat in January. So after Atlanta, there's not going to be much until February, just because we are going to be prepping for this really big retreat we're doing right on the beach.
Yeah. So I look at that. Now, if you cannot make it to Orlando or Atlanta, you can definitely reach out to us and talk to us how you can become part of the community. We have really some exciting things happening. So I know we have several students here on the call as well today. Guys, after Thanksgiving, we are going to do something even more exciting because we are getting a larger group of women. And, we have a great, amazing community. We have different levels of experience. And so I want to break it up for different levels of experience. So very exciting about some things coming up here. I would say in the next couple of weeks for the existing students, for the ones that have not part of the community yet, this is the time to join. We will have the pricing will change for the coaching, the mentorship by the end of the year. The reason that we do this is because the thing is this, we are going to give you more value. We're going to give you more training. We have coaches coming in with tons of experience in different areas. We are breaking up into different layers depending on your experience. And trust me, it's totally worth it, but there is a cost involved on the back end. So the cost will go up here in December. Okay. So this is kind
But
of
you will be grandfathered in at the current cost.
Yeah, for the students, nothing changes for you. As long as you stay on board, you're grandfathered in. But yeah, so I just want to put it out there, so I don't want to shock anybody when we're going to send an announcement out that the price went up. So with that said, schedule your call if you're not coming to the event, so you can talk to us and see what our coaching entitles, and now you can be part of the community. Great, amazing things we have next year for the community. We're planning cruises, we're planning vacations in Italy. So we want to make this really fun, being women that are in real estate investing, teaching other women to become real estate investors and paying it forward. Okay.
Yep.
So all I have.
Yeah, I posted a link here to schedule a call with us. And then we were asked, when are you guys going to post about purchasing the retreat? This is set. We just finalized everything. We're finishing up the landing page now. So I would say probably right after Thanksgiving, we are going to start promoting the retreat. But so you can write down the dates. It's January 20th through 22nd. The 20th, we meet at 7 p.m. It's just a networking hour that night, like a cocktail hour, to kind of get to know everyone that's attending and get to see us and all the coaches. And it's a lot of fun. You guys were at the last one. Can you comment how amazing that retreat was? Well, this one's a million times better. We brought on my sister. So yes, more into the family business. And she is an event manager and she is going to blow this out of the water. She literally came on and said, no, your retreat's good, but it needs to be way better than this. And she has been ordering and getting things prepped since the last retreat in September. So if you thought the last one was good, you have no idea what's coming at you this time around. We are also beachside on this retreat. So we are literally where our cocktail hour is. You can see the beach right there across the street. It's phenomenal. So again, mark your calendars. It's going to be so fun. And we're going to go ahead and get off here. But we have Orlando this weekend, Atlanta the 10th. I put the link to schedule a call. So that you guys can talk to us. This isn't some sales tactic. It is going to raise because we have to pay coaches. So it is going to go. Thanks, Kara. She said retreat was awesome and I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to see you again. This will be like 3 times in a year that I've gotten to see you. So this will be awesome. She came to the last retreat and New York. That's the same Kara, the one that came to New York.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Yep. Awesome. All right, everyone, we're going to get off here. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Just so you know, next week's live is going to be on Wednesday because Thursday is Thanksgiving. So I'm just giving you that warning. The main live will be on Wednesday. But other than that, everything is going as scheduled. So have a wonderful day.
Great. Talk to you soon, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.